In what has become one of the hottest rumors of the NHL offseason, Dmitry Orlov, a stalwart defenseman and former Stanley Cup champion, is being linked to the Toronto Maple Leafs. The possibility of Orlov heading to Toronto has generated significant buzz as the Maple Leafs look to bolster their defensive unit in hopes of finally pushing past their postseason struggles and making a serious run at the Stanley Cup. Toronto, one of the most scrutinized teams in hockey, is no stranger to high-profile acquisitions, and adding a player of Orlov's caliber could be a game-changer. With a strong defensive skill set, physicality, and experience playing in big games, Orlov could fill a critical need for the Leafs. However, acquiring him won't come easy or cheap. Let's dive into why Orlov to Toronto is generating excitement, how he would fit in with the team, and what it might take for the Maple Leafs to pull off this potential blockbuster deal. Dmitry Orlov, the defensive dynamo. Dmitry Orlov, originally drafted 55th overall by the Washington Capitals in 2009, has quietly established himself as one of the NHL's most reliable and versatile defensemen. Known for his ability to play heavy minutes, move the puck efficiently, and bring physicality to the game, Orlov has become a vital part of any blue line he has played on. Orlov, now 33, won the Stanley Cup with the Capitals in 2018 and has been a steady performer throughout his career. During the 2022-2023 season, Orlov was traded to the Boston Bruins as a key deadline acquisition, where he added depth to an already potent defensive group. With Boston, Orlov recorded 17 points in 23 games, showcasing his offensive capabilities in addition to his well-known defensive acumen. His blend of puck-moving ability, defensive positioning, and playoff experience makes him an attractive target for a team like the Maple Leafs, who are in desperate need of a reliable, experienced presence on their blue line. Why would the Maple Leafs want Orlov? The Toronto Maple Leafs have one of the most potent offenses in the NHL, headlined by stars like Auston Matthews, Mitch Marner, and John Tavares. However, despite their regular season success, the team has repeatedly stumbled in the playoffs, often due to defensive breakdowns at critical moments. That's where a player like Dmitry Orlov comes into play. Toronto's defense, while improved in recent seasons, still lacks the kind of all-around defender who can play in every situation and thrive in the high-pressure environment of the playoffs. Orlov's playoff pedigree and ability to play in all zones make him an ideal target for a team looking to shore up its defense. He has proven to be dependable in both penalty-killing and power play roles, and is adept at making quick, smart decisions with the puck under pressure. Additionally, Orlov's physicality would bring a much-needed element to Toronto's blue line, which has often been criticized for being too soft, especially in the postseason. Orlov is not afraid to throw his body around, and his ability to separate opponents from the puck would add a new dimension to Toronto's defense, making them tougher to play against in a 7-game series. What would a trade for Orlov look like? If the Maple Leafs are serious about acquiring Dmitry Orlov, they will need to put together a compelling trade package. Orlov, currently a free agent, has a reputation as one of the more coveted defensemen in the market. While some speculate that he might be open to returning to Washington or exploring other contenders, Toronto represents a fresh challenge and an opportunity to be part of a championship-caliber roster. To land Orlov, Toronto would likely need to make some salary cap maneuvers. With his value in free agency likely around $6 to $7 million annually, the Maple Leafs, already near the salary cap ceiling, would have to move some contracts to fit Orlov into their plans. This could mean trading a roster player, such as William Nylander or Jake Muzzin, to free up space. One potential avenue could be structuring a sign-and-trade deal with Orlov's current rights holder, giving the Maple Leafs an exclusive window to negotiate a contract with the player while simultaneously addressing their salary cap concerns. In return, Toronto might send a young defenseman or forward prospect, along with a draft pick, to sweeten the deal. Prospects like Nick Robertson or Rasmus Sandin could be attractive pieces for teams looking to add future talent. For the Maple Leafs, it's a delicate balancing act of strengthening the present without sacrificing too much of the future. How Orlov fits into Toronto's lineup. If the Maple Leafs can successfully acquire Orlov, the team would have one of the deepest defensive cores in the league. Orlov's ability to play on either the left or right side would give head coach Sheldon Keefe plenty of flexibility in constructing his defensive pairings. Orlov could slot in alongside Morgan Rielly on the top pairing, forming a dynamic duo of puck-moving defensemen. Both players excel at skating the puck out of danger and making crisp outlet passes, which would help Toronto transition smoothly from defense to offense. With Rielly being more offensively inclined, Orlov's defensive stability would allow Rielly to take more risks in the offensive zone, knowing he has a solid partner to cover for him. Alternatively, Orlov could pair with T.J. Brodie on the second unit, creating a formidable shutdown pairing that could take on the toughest matchups. Orlov's physicality and Brodie's smart positioning would make for an effective defensive tandem capable of neutralizing the opposition's top lines. Another potential impact of Orlov's arrival would be on Toronto's special teams. Orlov has a proven track record of contributing on both the penalty kill and power play, and his presence could allow the Leafs to mix up their special team strategy, potentially even reducing the workload of players like Rielly and Brodie to keep them fresher for the playoffs. What this means for Toronto's Stanley Cup aspirations. The Maple Leafs have long been searching for the right mix to bring a Stanley Cup back to Toronto, and acquiring a player like Dmitry Orlov could be a critical piece of the puzzle. The team's offensive core is set, but the defensive side of the game has been their Achilles heel in recent playoff runs. Orlov's experience, versatility, and toughness make him an ideal fit for a team that needs to take the next step. While Toronto will still have to address other areas, such as depth scoring and goaltending consistency, bringing in Orlov would signal to the rest of the league that the Maple Leafs are fully committed to contending for a cup. His presence on the blue line would give Toronto a legitimate top-four defenseman who can handle tough minutes, contribute offensively, and elevate his game when it matters most. For Orlov, joining a team like the Maple Leafs would offer the chance to be part of one of the NHL's most storied franchises and compete for a championship in the latter stages of his career. Toronto's passionate fan base and hockey-crazed environment would also make for an exciting new chapter in his career. As the offseason unfolds, all eyes will be on whether the Maple Leafs can make a move for Dmitry Orlov. If they can, it could be the defining moment that finally pushes Toronto from playoff contender to Stanley Cup favorite.